Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bros here, and after about a month of absence for Synchron Quasar, it is back with a vengeance for the KC Cup with a bit of help that I have been asking for so long. We finally have our 9th extra deck slot we can use. Thank you. This opens up so many possibilities for so many decks, and Synchron Quasar is no exception, so of course I wanted to see what this could do right away. And although the card in question for me unfortunately never came up, it is still nice to have in case it ever does. There are so many options, but we'll get to those in a moment. First we have to look at A Bond Illuminates the Future. It has been quite a while since I've talked about this skill. But as usual, each skill effect is once per duel and you can change the position of set cards set by the skill. First effect, send a Synchron or a level 2 Wind Warrior with 1000 or less attack from hand to grave. Add a Synchron from deck to hand, and set Synchro Chase from outside of your deck. As for Synchro Chase, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the effect activations of your Synchro monsters with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in the original names. And once per turn, if you Synchro summon a Synchro monster with one of those names, you can bring back one of the materials in defense mode. So, this is really useful, but as I have shown many times and will show here once again, you don't always need the Synchro Chase. It is an option, it's an add-on, but you don't always necessarily need it. Second effect, send all monsters you control to the graveyards. If their total combined original attack is 2500 or more, set 2 random Siren Dragons with different names out of the 4 from outside of your deck. As usual, this can bring out Red Dragon Archfiend, Black Rose Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon, which has been proving quite useful as of late, and the Black Winged Dragon. And turn 3 and onward, return 1 Stardust Dragon from your field or graveyard to the extra deck, then change the level of all Synchro monsters you currently control to level 2, and set Lifestream Dragon from outside of the deck. As usual, this skill can only be used if you begin the duel with an extra deck that contains at least a level 10 or higher light monster and no monsters other than Synchro monsters, and a main deck that contains at least 7 level 2 or lower Warrior type or Machine type monsters. The classic. It is pretty much standard for use at this point, although Shooting Star Road Tech Genius Expansion got a nice buff with this new extra deck slot. I might talk about that as a little bonus at some point, but for now, Double Junk Synchron. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a level 2 or lower monster in the grave, special summon it in defense with effects negated. That basically never matters. Back to Double Warrior, because we are going a little bit over 20 cards because of just how much stuff we actually need now. So for the sake of consistency with this combo, we're back to Double Warrior. When a monster is special summoned from your grave except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can special summon 2 Doppel tokens in attack position. Level 1, Dark Warrior type monsters with 400 attack and defense each. Of course, unfortunately, one of the cards we need is a hand trap, so we're going with the classic, Double Effect Veiler. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target a face-up effect monster your opponent controls, and that face-up monster your opponent controls has its effects negated until the end of this turn, and this is a quick effect. Not a once per turn either, so if you open Double Veiler, it's quite nice. And hey, at least Yusei has a voice line for this thing. Anyway, Double Jet Synchron. If this card is sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can add a junk monster from deck to hand. Or if it's in your graveyard, you can send the card from hand to grave, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. One effect per turn, only once that turn, and the skill's second effect ignores the banish rule. One time, mind you, but still, it's really nice to know. We have Double Junk Converter. You can discard this card into Tuner, add a Synchron from deck to hand. If it's sent to the grave with Synchro material, you can target a Tuner in the grave, special summon it in defense, but it can't activate effects this turn. Each effect is once per turn. Very useful, very standard. Synchron Explorer is up next as a one-of. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a Synchron in the grave, special summon it with effects negated, and the Synchron Carrier. During your main phase, you can normal summon a Synchron monster in addition to your normal summoner set per turn, once per turn. If another Synchron monster is sent to the graveyard as a Synchro summon material, with a Synchro summon of a Warrior or Machine type Synchro monster, while you control this card, you can special summon a Synchron token. A level 2 Earth Machine type monster with 1000 attack and 0 defense, and this effect is once per turn, but it never comes up anyway, so who cares? We're basically using this thing as part of a different combo, or as a way to have something to search if we scout for DD Crow and it turns out they have it. On the spells, no traps, we are now doing double Forbidden Droplet. Yes, there is a reason for this, I'll get to that in a moment. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard. Choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls, and until the end of this turn their attack is halved, also their effects are negated. In response to this card's activation, your opponent can activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original type, monster, spell, or trap respectively, as the cards you sent to the graveyard to activate this card. and you can only activate one Forbidden Droplet per turn. So why am I playing 2 now instead? One big reason, Lyrilusk. Cobalt Sparrow stops targeting annoyingly enough. Forbidden Droplet does not care. We need to see Droplet as consistently as possible, and I would have considered 3 if I had a third, mainly because I spent so long trying to get Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. I'll talk about that later too. But 2 is honestly enough. It comes up when it needs to most of the time. We do have the one Mind Control. Yes, I am unfortunately playing one of these now, but there's a good reason for it. Target one monster your opponent controls until the end of the phase, take control of that target, but cannot declare an attack or be tributed. Note it can still activate effects, so I will say I did this at one point. Cosmic Cyclone and Ultimate Fusion during the draw phase, that was their only back row because, Battle Chronicle go burn. Chalice, Dragon Spirit of White. Mind Control, Blue Eyes Alternative. Blue Eyes Alternative activates because it can still do effects. Forces Dragon Spirit as their only other monster on the field because they left that on the field for some reason, I don't know why. Basically giving me free reign to run them over with the Signer Dragons because they had 2 Blue Eyes still in hand. One Book of Moon, even though Book of Eclipse now is a little bit better, I will state there is a downside to Eclipse though. If you don't break the board at the bare minimum, your opponent's getting plus draws, and that actually did come up for me on the receiving end a couple of times. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, Book of Moon. Target a face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense. Pretty standard, pretty classic. Double Forbidden Lands. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. That target loses 800 attack, but it's unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards. And unfortunately, only double Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, when you're making me only play 2 of these things, something's wrong. Pay 1,000 life points, target a spell trap on the field, and banish it. Double Tuning. Add a Synchron Tuner from deck to hand, but send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. And double Forbidden Chalice. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. It gains 400 attack, but effects are negated. On to the extra deck with, of course, the Shooting Quasar Dragon making his grand return. Been a while, man. Been a while. Must be Synchro Summoned and cannot be Special Summoned by other ways. Maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of non-tuner monsters used to Synchro Summon it. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you have an Omni Negate, and when it leaves the field, you can Special Summon 1 Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. Guess what we finally have the room for after so long of me asking for this? Thank you! But first, Stardust Warrior. During either player's turn, if your opponent with Special Summon monsters not through an effect, you can tribute this card, negate the summons, and if you do, destroy those monsters. During the end phase, if this activated successfully, you can Special Summon it from your graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if the face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can Special Summon 1 level 8 or lower Warrior Synchro monster from your extra deck, and it's treated as a Synchro Summon. So yes, we can also play Jet Warrior to float in from Stardust Warrior, which is always really useful. You saw this in Shooting Star Synchron a couple of times. But, of course, you know me, I have to put in Shooting Star Dragon. It's the boy. It's the OG. Once per turn, you can activate the top 5 cards of your deck, shuffle them back in, and this card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase this turn equals the number of tuner monsters activated this way. Once per turn during the player's turn, except during the damage step, when a card effect is activated that destroy a card or cards on the field, you can negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that card. Once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster, banish this card, if you do, negate that attack. During the next end phase, Special Summon this card, banished by this effect. Except if you floated into this from Shooting Quasar Dragon, then it will not return to the field. I've learned this the hard way. Next up is Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Once per turn during each player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster. And if you do that, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of this turn. More importantly, because I swear, people still don't read this effect, and I don't know why, I don't know how either. If this card battles a level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls during damage calculation, this card gains attack equal to the current attack of the opponent's monster it is battling during that damage calculation only, not once per turn. Read this effect, please. It's almost sad how people still don't read this effect after so long. Anyway, the classic Stardust Dragon. Yes, I did burn my second You Are Dream Prismatic on a second one, mainly for Shooting Star Road. But if I'm right about a potential skill that could happen in the future, that junk speeder skill I talked about as something that Synchron might need. I might want to have a second one of these just to max out the rarity on this thing, mainly because I tend to do that with Synchron. Anyway, Stardust Dragon. During the player's turn, when a card or effect is activated to destroy a card or cards on the field, you contribute this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. During the end phase, if this activated successfully, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Classic, it's withstood the test of time for a reason after all. Formula Synchron is next. When this card is Synchro summoned, you can draw one card, and once per chain during your opponent's main phase, you can essentially excel Synchro. This is once per chain, not once per turn. It's kind of disgusting if it comes up. Anyway, we have the Catapult Warrior next. Once per turn, you contribute one junk monster on the field, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of the original attack of the attributed monster. Believe it or not, this actually came up at one point. You're gonna probably see it here in this climb, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Scarred Warrior. Your opponent cannot target face-up warrior-type monsters for attacks except for this one, and once per turn if it would be destroyed by battle, it's not destroyed. This has actually saved me a couple of times. Lastly, Tatsunoko. If this Synchro summoned monster will be used as a Synchro material, one monster in your hand can be used as one of the other materials, and it's unaffected by other monsters' effects. Now, I have some alternatives to talk about now that we have this other extra deck slot to work with. So I need level 5 and level 7. Starting off, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. If this card is special summoned, or a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, target one special summoned monster your opponent controls and return that target to the hand, once per turn. But this is a beautiful little thing to do during the opponent's turn because it's kind of disgusting. This also took me forever to get from that selection box, and then of course they finally put it in a main box. Figure that one out. Yeah, can you tell why I have 2 forbidden droplets? I spent way too long trying to get this. Anyway. Speaking of Jet Warrior, if this card is Synchro summoned, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you contribute one level 2 or lower monster, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. And of course it has to be special summoned in defense mode. But this is a Synchro Summon effect that is used off of the float from Stardust Warrior because that float is treated as a Synchro Summon. Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Of course, there's also a different level 5. Don't underestimate this thing. X-Saber Wayne. When this card is Synchro Summoned, you can special summon one level 4 lower warrior type monster from your hand. Note one thing in particular. Junk Synchron is a warrior monster. So we can use X-Saber Wayne to out 2 things in particular. Number 68, Sanafon the Sky Prison, and Necro Valley. If you run into situations where your graveyard is locked out, X-Saber Wayne can be really helpful. So, of all of these, I probably would recommend X-Saber Wayne the most, but don't underestimate your other options. There are plenty of other options. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could also technically throw in Cyber's Quantum Dragon, but that's also not the best idea. Sure, the balance effect is great, but the fact of the matter is, you're not going to have a link to force them to do battle with this thing. Well, not through conventional means anyway. Anyway, on to the replay compilation, folks, and we've got quite a few good matches to show this time around, including my very first match in this climb of the KC Cup. Yeah, right out the gate I had something good here. So we start this off with Boral Dragon Link, and unfortunately I go second here, and I say unfortunately because look what I open.
Sure.
Yeah, I opened the big combo. That is unfortunate.
I'll just wait this.
You love seeing this going first, but going second, it's painful because you wish you were going first. You know what I'm saying?
Dragon's effect from my graveyard. I banish Double Disruptor Dragon from my graveyard. I activate my monster. Here's what's come. Exploder Rocket Dragon. I know what to. I activate my ritual summon.
And so here comes the Borreload Riot Dragon.
Descend. I end my turn.
My turn. I
It's
draw
your turn.
from my hand. I act from my hand.
So, with the board essentially broken, all we need in this case is Jet Synchron and Doppel Warrior. As usual, we're going to be milling Jet with the skill's first effect to add Junk Synchron to hand. Flip the Synchro Chase to scout out DD Crow, although in this case, I don't think he actually has it. So, almost one Junk Synchron, activate, bring your Jet Synchron back to your field, and that's going to trigger Doppel Warrior to bring that to your field as well. Use Junk Synchron and the Doppel Warrior to Synchro summon Scarred Warrior in, I would say, attack mode in this case, going first is defense mode. Either way, you have to do it to the extra monster zone. In this situation, putting it in attack was the better idea. Get your 2 Doppel tokens, and then use one of them in your Jet Synchron to Synchro summon Formula Synchron. Chain 1 Formula Synchron, chain 2 Jet Synchron in this case, but with Skullmeister running around, sometimes you might want to go ahead and chain 1 Jet Synchron these days, and then chain 2 Formula Synchron. It's not the best idea, but sometimes it is what you kind of have to do, unfortunately. Next, we're going to use Formula and the other Doppel token to Synchro summon Tatsunoko. Using Tatsunoko and the Junk Converter we added to our hand through Jet Synchron's effect to Synchro summon Catapult. Next up, always nowadays, chain 1 the Junk Converter to chain block it. You need to bring back the Formula Synchron regardless. Synchro Chase will bring back Tatsunoko. And as usual, the combo breaks, so as usual, I'm going to talk about it here. Now, of course you can use Formula, Catapult Warrior, and Scarred Warrior to make your turn 1 shooting Quasar Dragon. Not a good idea in this case because we don't actually have game. It will come up later, don't worry. So in this case, since we're not going to have game anyway, it's better to use Tatsunoko and the Catapult Warrior to Synchro summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So we're just going to run over the board, and since Book of Moon put Warlord Riot Dragon face down, Heavy Interlock is no longer affecting it.
Exploder Rocket's effect activates during this end phase.
Except no, it doesn't. Get out of here with that.
Turn. From my hand, I activate a spell card. I Link summon a monster. Here's Link.
Formula Synchron's effect.
Well done.
So, I Formula here, right?
So every card and move led me to this victory.
If I bring Stardust Warrior to the zone under Scarred Warrior, I can use Synchro Chase to bring back Crystal Wing. That forces Flash Charge Dragon. Crystal Wing says no. If he tries to special summon Chaos Dragon Levianeer, Stardust Warrior is the one to say no. Or if he tribute summons to get out Odd Eye's Advanced Dragon, yeah, either way, it wasn't going to end well. At some point, Quasar would have come out, and that would have been game. You were out of options, man. You were just straight up out of options. And you weren't going to have enough damage to have lethal anyway. So, that was a good start. Thank God he did not have Rapid Trigger. Anyway. So, I'm not going to repeat the chant again. You can probably tell what this is. We are in fact dealing with Winged Dragon of Ra, and this matchup took quite a long time. I'm probably going to speed this up at some point.
Duel.
But now we actually get to show what Winged Dragon of Ra is actually supposed to do.
From my hand, I activate a continuous spell. I activate a continuous. I activate my spell. Monster Reborn. Behold my.
Get back the Monster Reborn.
With its special. Behold. I set the Winged Dragon of. The Winged Dragon. My turn is over.
It's go time. I draw each card.
And so, standard combo. Now, I'm going to speed this up from here because not much really goes on in this particular duel. And it takes way too long. So, Spirit Mode tries to bring back like a Winged Dragon of Ra from the deck. And I kind of get screwed over here. Effect Failure is going to stop Winged Dragon of Ra from actually making full use of its effect. And thankfully Immortal Phoenix came out during the end phase, but nonetheless, moving right along. And Kiteroid's just being annoying. This is why it took so bloody long. And so, this is where mind control actually comes into play. We're intentionally going to force this situation. Yeah, 20 turns of this. This was ridiculous. Yeah, give me back my Tatsunoko. Thank you.
I activate a continuous. Up here, witness the bond. The bomb. I'll rev it up to blast through my limitations. The evolution. Let's see what you can do. How can I be falling behind? I end my turn.
This was kind of ridiculous.
I activate a continuous spell. I activate a continuous
shooting Quasar Dragon's effect.
Yeah, your Millennium Revelation ain't gonna help you here.
Time to put end my turn. I draw. I'm not. This will end. I'm so shooting Quasar Dragon's effect.
Thankfully, after 22 turns and both of us almost decking out, I can break through. Yeah, I was not having y'all sit through 22 turns. That is the longest duel I have ever had. It was worth putting in the compilation just for that, but come on. That was a little ridiculous. Just saying. Crackdown, Kiteroids, compulsories, all that. Good lord, man was trying to stall. So, yeah. Didn't think I'd see this again. Zombie World Destiny effect. Yay. Still don't agree with this being a thing, but whatever at this point. It's not commonly played anymore. And I bricked. I straight up bricked. Except he has Destiny Hero Defender for some bloody reason. I don't get it. So here comes Destiny Hero Dangerous, same old shit. And he had freaking Zombie World. So
here it comes. I flip over my face down card. Here's my face down card.
Dollar Draw, and I'm intentionally gonna stuff this and lower the attack points of the monster. Thankfully, tuning off the top does save me here. And I have Lance in case of back row.
I activate my monsters. Here's my tuner monster. I know what to do. I synchro summon a jet synchron's effect. I synchro summon a monster. Level 5. I activate my monsters. I activate a continuous spell.
So, remember what I said about how Catapult Warrior actually came up during this climb? Junk Converter or Junk Synchron, either one would have done here. That would have left him with 3,800 with Converter. Either way, he's in lethal range, as long as he doesn't have a back row for this situation.
Up here, my friend, a duelist job.
Fortunately, it seemed like no Super Poly was in sight.
The evolution battle. This is the strength of our bond.
Yeah, Catapult Warrior actually proved his worth there. Quite nice. When it happens, it's beautiful. It just doesn't get to happen very often, sadly. And so, Supreme King Jaden, don't think it's Evil Heroes. Trust me, I wish it was. It's one of the only cool versions of the hero archetype. Guess what we're dealing with? We're gonna speed up his basic Synchro Chase combo. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least this gets to play around the beer whenever it comes up. Beans exchange. Guess what? Unchained.
My hand, I activate a spell card. I set come out. I activate my monsters. I activate. Allow me to show. I activate my.
I discard effect Valor from my
Let's
hand.
go ahead and just let Valor do his thing.
It negates your monster's
I end
effect.
my
It's
turn.
my turn. I draw. Battle. Go. Attack.
Ha! That won't work.
I activate my.
Rakea gets told no.
Monsters effect.
I end my turn.
I activate my. I set. I activate. Join me. I activate my
I knew you'd
monsters
try that.
effect.
Let's not do that and say we did.
My monster's effect.
Join me. I activate my.
No
monsters.
Aruha
I
for some
activate
reason.
Allow me to show you this.
You're not the only one full
I
of surprises.
specials from
Let's
my
just casually
hand.
book that.
I activate a
I
spell
activate
card.
a quick
And
play
Escape of the
spell.
Unchained.
I end my turn.
It's go
Quite
time.
annoying.
I draw each card.
So I decided to take a bit of a risk here. Thankfully, Ancient Fairy comes up, and he throws right here. I get he was scared of the Stardust Dragon,
Activate a quick play
I
spell.
activate a trap. You.
but please note that I don't care.
Pointless. I
I flip
activate
over my
my
face down
monster's
card.
effect.
I activate a quick play spell. My friend. Here's my tuner monster, Jet. The hopes of the world.
And so, we have ourselves a Stardust Dragon in
Take
play.
flight. Jet Synchron. I activate a continuous spell. The mighty. Each card has.
And return Stardust back. We can still go into it next turn.
I'll rev it up to blast through my limitations. The evolution.
And Quasar's just gonna completely break this board.
Attack shooting Quasar Dragon.
That won't work.
How about no, you're not doing that.
Let's see what you have.
Yeah, for some reason, Synchron plays really good into Unchained.
I draw. I'll set a
Especially if you get the Jet and Junk combo, where you end on Stardust and Crystal Wing.
Pedal to the metal. I draw.
How were you able to do this?
The power of my bond over yours was the determining factor.
Screw Unchained, that's how, by the way. So, next up, I actually forget what this one was. Is this Battle Chronicle? No, I'm pretty sure this was Lyrilisk. Wait, it was either that or was it Time Thieves? I forget, because Time Thieves did get an archive skill of their own. Oh no, this was Lyrilisk, so we actually have to see these things.
Prove that nothing.
If we give it
Or we would if I didn't open, essentially, the Jet and Doppel combo. Thank you, Junk Converter, and thankfully, Effect Taylor's a tuner.
Here's my face down. The tuner monster jump Synchron's up. Here's my. I activate my. I know what to do.
No, this is not the game that ended in a draw. I probably should have made that a bonus replay, but
Spirit still burns. Synchro
yeah, that was funny, but oh well.
I activate my. I'm counting.
So you've seen this combo plenty of times. Set the tuning as a bluff.
I need your help. The synchro. I need your help. I synchro
And Crystal Wing. Now, I forget if he had Book of Eclipse here or not, because that's one of the main things that can actually consistently break this entire board.
I'm gonna
Tap deck Turquoise.
Lyrilisk. Special summoning
I
turquoise
knew you'd
warble.
try it. Formula Synchron's effect activates.
Now, I negate with Crystal Wing right away, because I'm not letting Celestine Wagtail see the light of day.
Appear.
Cobalt Sparrow's the main one I'm worried about, but not in this case, because I have Droplet, so we're fine there.
Canary's effect activates Lyrilisk. Lyrilisk. Special summoning
this
Celestine
for an
Wagtail activates her
And yeah, you're not getting a bird call. Yeah, I get 2 negates with 1 Crystal Wing.
spell card. Lyrilisk Bird's Eye activates.
Unfortunately, Bird Strike is going to put a stop to our little buddy Stardust Warrior here,
Special
and that's going to cause no end of problems.
her effect.
Oh, and did I also mention that Cobalt Sparrow can search DD Crow?
Support the battlefield. From high using
Yeah, remember what I said about how Cobalt Sparrow prevents targeting?
activates her effect.
You also remember what I said about how Droplet doesn't care?
Surprises. I flip over my face down cone. I activate a quick place.
Celestine Wagtail's effect. With that, I end
It's
my
go
turn.
time. I draw. I'll set
Yeah,
up.
get out of here with that.
I'm not scared. Scarred warrior.
Hold
Attack.
Yeah, go ahead and DD Crow banish, I don't care.
I activate my monsters effect.
That's what I was after.
I didn't.
The power of my
Granted, not like it would have mattered really if you at least weren't destroyed, because I had enough damage to swing per game anyway. So, this next one I know for a fact, let's just say I am so glad this worked out the way it did, because I am dealing with one of my most hated decks of all time. Up there with as much as I hated Infernoid back in the day, and I still do hate Infernoid about that much. This either is on that level or takes the cake.
My wind
Shaddoll!
victory.
Why are you using an archive skill with Rin? You have Winterbell Excel.
Duel. It's go time. I activate my spell card. Tuning. Each card. Here's my
So
face
all you
down
need for the
cone.
main combo is Jet Synchron. Pitch that, Surge Explorer, as usual flip the Synchro Chase. Explorer brings back your Jet, makes your Tatsunoko.
I synchro some Jet Synchron's effect.
Jet's gonna activate, normally we search Converter, but in this case we already have it, so we search Junk Synchron to prepare for next turn. Make your Catapult Warrior, Converter brings back one tuner, Synchro Chase brings back the other. In this case you're bringing back Tatsunoko no matter what anyway. This way we have Droplet fodder, and we can still have our Crystal
I
Wing.
synchro some. I end my turn.
Here I go. My turn.
So, Breaking Super Poly decides to say hi, and here comes Wendigo.
I activate my monsters effect.
Wendy brings out the Hedgehog.
I activate a
No, it's not Shadow, otherwise this would have been a precursor to Sonic Movie 3. Oh, I am so hyped for that. Anyway,
Here. I link summon a monster from
Artemis, go Burr.
Here. I fusion summon a. I activate my
Yeah, except I'm not gonna let you mill whatever you want.
Here's my face.
Screw that, I don't care.
Quick play spell.
Time. All right.
I'll take the 1400 damage, I really don't care.
It's my turn. I draw the tuner monster Junk Synchron's effect.
So Schism is unfortunately gonna make me lose my Junk Synchron,
I fusion summon.
and El Shaddai Winda comes out. So remember how I said Mind Control can actually be really useful here and sometimes actually is what saves games? Let's get that Winda off the field, please.
The mighty.
And to make things better, we got Ancient Fairy, so...
The hopes of the world coalesce into take flight. I activate a continuous. The mighty. Each card. Evolve. I'll rev it up to blast through my limitations. The evolution of
I knew that would happen.
battle. Attack shooting Quasar Dragon.
That's not.
Shooting Quasar Dragon's effect.
Now that in particular, I don't care about.
I knew that would happen. I activate my monster's effect.
I end my turn.
Here I go. My turn. I draw. Here goes. I watch this.
And he throws here, and I don't know why.
I activate my monster's effect. I activate my monster's effect. I set a card. Can you keep?
I guess he was scared of freaking me stopping the Schism there. But, this top deck,
I knew that.
that was game. Cosmic off the top, that was game. Because Quasar stops the incarnation, Schism tries to activate, Cosmic says no, and you can't play El Shaddai Fusion, nor do you have a Shaddai on your field.
Let's back.
I didn't know.
This
yeah, you were out of options, like it or not. Thank God. I hate Shaddolls. I really, really hate Shaddolls. So now, let's get on to something fun instead, shall we? It's time for a bit of a classic matchup. We've got Synchron versus Speedroid.
With my you want to let's duel.
I will state, however, this guy does throw for reasons I will never know.
I activate the tuner monster.
Car Turbo. I actually didn't realize that they could actually use Car Turbo like this. That's actually kind of sick.
Piper activates its effect.
Unfortunately, got the win, so it's a free converter
Your
surge.
wings to whip up a world. Level 7. The duelist.
Clear Ring comes out,
Away for the
as does Crystal Wing.
by Rock. Take flight. Level 8 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Speedroid double. I activate double yo-yos of the tuner monster. Red-Eyed Dice activates its effect.
Now, I'm sitting here questioning why he went Stardust Charge Warrior
My monster's effect.
instead of going for Puzzle,
Your wings to whip up a whirlwind of
so he'd at least be able to recover.
level 7. I set up. That brings my
But it's gonna come back to bite him.
From my hand. Each card.
At least Book of Eclipse is off the field. That card is really obnoxious.
The tuner monster junk synchron's effect.
Now, I make a huge mistake here,
Synchro summon
I'm pretty sure, or was this when the other Book of Eclipse comes up? Or I'm thinking of a different
I
replay.
activated continuous. The tuner monster junk synchron.
I'm thinking of a different game where I played the combo completely wrong.
set card.
Set a card.
I activate
set
a
a
quick
card.
play spell.
So I go +2 here, even though it's probably not going to matter.
I drop. Take flight.
Except no, it is going to matter because you're going to see here. This dude throws for no reason.
Whirlwind Synchro
You're not the
Dragon
only
attack.
one full of surprise bites.
Lance, chain the droplet, pitch the Synchron Carrier.
For my hand, I activate a quick play spell.
I think he forgot that his Lance left him unaffected by the effects of other spell and trap cards, and I think he was banging on me having a junk Synchron. No, I didn't have it, he just threw it. And so he's gonna pay for it because I top deck droplet again.
Witness the
Why he threw that, I have no idea, but hey, I'll take it.
my friend. Each card. The ball. I'll rev it up.
I get not being worried about Quasar, but
The evolution of light. Shooting Quasar Dragon.
about that, you poor soul.
From my
Do you
hand,
know?
I activate a quick from my hand. I activate a quick
Don't need
play
Synchro Chase
spell.
anymore, I just basically double negate.
As a duelist,
He
I
can't do
hold all
anything.
my cards.
He's down to
And this
700
belief
attack,
was what
and
allowed me
that
to
just
win.
was game right then and there. So, I don't know why he threw that. That's like the third or fourth Speedroid I've seen throw like that, but we take those. So, we were seeing quite a bit of variety here, and this is the only time we're going to be seeing a repeat. Boral Dragon Link.
I activate.
I'll prove that nothing.
Allow me. Duel. I'll decimate you from existence. I activate my quick, the tuner monster. Rocket Tracer.
And it feels like he opened up really bad, but his end board's going to be really sick, trust me.
Coming. I link summon a monster. Enter the witness. Double Disruptor. I activate Double Disruptor Dragon's effect. Exploder the tuner monster. I activate here. I banish Double Disruptor Dragon from my graveyard. I activate Borolo Riot Dragon's effect from my graveyard. I activate my ritual spell. I ritual summon a monster. Descend. I know what to do.
So, on top of Borolo Riot Dragon, he has a Decode Talker on standby, and a back row on top of that, and another Rocket Tracer. This end board, if that was Rapid Trigger, this end board would be perfect. It'd be perfect.
Each card has power waiting to be unleashed. Here's my face down.
Rocket Tracer activates.
So he goes to Tracer activate.
Exploder Rocket Dragon.
The tuner monster junks Synchron's effect.
You think I'll let you do that? I
From my
flip
hand,
over my set card.
I activate a quick play
I
spell.
activate a quick play spell.
We'll just go ahead and get rid of the Synchro Chase just to prove I don't need it.
Jet Synchron's effect.
I don't care that you challenged me, bro. My real goal was getting Doppel onto the field.
I swearing the marks.
And so, notice I used the Synchro Chase to bring back Tatsunoko here.
I activate
Notice that the effect of Heavy Interlock is still in play.
my special
So,
summon
Borreload Riot Dragon can't be destroyed by monsters summoned from the extra deck.
and collide to create the
Notice how I already have Junk Converter in hand. Can you see where this is going?
Formula Synchron's effect. I'll set a card. Need your help. I synchro summon a monster. I synchro summon a monster. Level 5. I activate my monster's effect. The synchro.
It's time!
Rev it up to
The turn 1 Quasar!
The stars
I guarantee you he did not see that coming.
form the road of light.
He did not see that coming. He wasn't ready.
Grow.
He so was not ready. He just wasn't ready for that. Proof, once again, structure your combos around not needing the Synchro Chase. Of course, you can make use of it, but make sure your combos have ways to play without needing it.
Quasar Dragon.
And this is proof of that.
I'm not scared to attack. Attack, shooting.
We are turning his Destruction Prevention against him here,
I attack.
and pushing for game in a situation where otherwise it would not be game.
This is the.
Now, as for the final game for this KC Cup Stage 1 climb, I have to give you a shout out if you're watching this. Thank you for this absolutely incredible match. This is, honestly, this might be one of my favorite games of Duel Links of all time. I loved this match. It was so good. We are dealing with Dark Fluid, and again, this match is going to unfold in such an incredible way. I could not think of a better way to end this. So again, thank you, genuinely, for this amazing round.
Turn down a duel.
And I get to show the last possible combo on top of all of this.
It's go time.
All you need
My
is Jet Synchron and
card
Junk
has
Synchron.
power waiting to be
In this situation, we need to get the Synchron carrier out of the deck first, so we're going to use the skill's first effect.
Here's my face down. I activate my
Then
spell
we're going to
card.
activate Tuning to search the Junk Synchron. So we're now in the situation we need to be in.
I
Summon the Synchron carrier, that gets you your extra normal summon, which will be for Junk Synchron. We're going to use that to bring Jet back to the field.
Here's my
Jet and the carrier make Tatsunoko, and this should look familiar.
Jet Synchron's effect.
Jet searches Converter.
I synchro summon a monster. Level 5.
We go ahead and make Catapult Warrior, because we want Scarred Warrior in case our
I special summon
Synchro
a
Chase gets
monster.
blown up, in case our board gets blown up.
Of the world
all that stuff.
coalesce into a single star. Let's rev it
Converter
up.
brings back Tatsunoko.
Summon.
One of the level 3 tuners in Catapult will make our Stardust Dragon. And we're going to let the summon animation play out.
Stardust Dragon.
It's worth it for a match this good, trust me. Man, I've been going for about 44 minutes at this point. Wow, it really has been a while. Now, Synchro Chase is going to activate and get you back your Catapult Warrior. Make sure, by the way, you put Stardust Dragon in the main monster zone. You're going to see why.
I know what to do. I synchro summon a monster. I'll set a card.
And Crystal Wing in the extra monster zone. Now, this end board, because a Book of Eclipse can easily be broken nowadays, but Dark Fluid Link is going to activate, and he doesn't have much in the way of a potential end board here.
From my hand, I activate a quick play spell. Sword!
Brings out his Firewall Dragon, and out of respect for just how great this match was, I'm gonna let this animation play. Cynet mining, he's gonna pitch the Elemengrate Sanctuary. Unfortunate that he drew that.
I summon a monster.
There's still hope for me.
Gonna try to stop Defensor, except Cynet Cross.
I activate Stardust.
Except no, because Stardust. Yeah, get out of here with that.
Firewall Dragon's effect.
There's still hope for me. I activate my monster's effect.
From my hand, I activate an Eclipse. Rise!
I discard Effect Veiler from my hand to activate Stardust Dragon's. Take flight.
That brings my turn
It's go
to an
time.
end.
I draw. I'll Sabat. Go.
That was kind of an unfortunate draw, but
Monster's effect.
Quantum return.
oh well.
Firewall Dragon's effect. Firewall Guardian.
Attack Stardust Dragon. I end my turn.
Except no, we're not gonna let that stay on the field for very long. Now are we?
I know. I draw. From my hand, I activate a spell card.
Except we have to, because
Come out.
now, annoyingly, he is forcing me into a situation where I have to let his stuff go off.
Firewall Guardian. I link summon a
Except he goes into Honeybot to stop his Firewall Dragon from being targeted, which is pretty smart. And it's also there to stop destruction by battle.
Tempest Terror.
So, he pulls a classic that he did on freaking Goki's in that Duel of the Anime to essentially keep his Firewall in play. Much like how Deco Talker
Need
was.
your help.
Except top deck Synchron Explorer,
I activate my monster's effect. The tuner monster wearing the mark.
so I'm able to get out Scarred Warrior without any issue.
Guard. Witness the
Now technically, this is game right here, but I wanted this to be as fitting as possible.
stars unite.
It did give him another turn if he let it happen, yes,
Limit over Excel Synchro.
but honestly, I gotta show respect. We're bringing out the big guns. We are bringing out the Quasar. I have to.
I'm not scared. Take this.
Firewall
So,
Dragon activates its
he
effect.
pretty much decides to let that end right then and there because he knows there's nothing left.
Shooting Quasar Dragon's effect.
Because no matter what he drew,
Attack.
it wouldn't have done anything. Because,
This will end.
I can't.
I attack you directly.
great match, man. Again, thank you for letting this be what closed it out. This is beautiful. The only fitting way to end
I
this.
lose.
The power of my bond. over
Grand
yours
return of
was the
Synchron
determining
Quasar.
factor.
Genuinely an incredible duel. So, thoughts on the general format and Synchron Quasar in this format? I said this before and I'll say it again. I still believe that Synchron and Synchro as a whole is still struggling a little bit. Thankfully, a lot less because we have that new extra deck slot to play with. Thank God. But as a whole, the format, it's in a weird position. There's a good amount of variety this time around, unlike the last couple of formats. But the big elephant in the room is still there, and it's the big reason why Synchron is struggling. There's so many skills that just have effects that punish your opponent for playing the game, and there's a lot of old decks that don't have such a thing right now. They don't have skills like that. They don't have these sorts of skills. The closest thing we have is Limiter Removal Regulator open for anything Synchro related, but even then, like, we're in a modern game state trying to play an old school deck. You know what I'm saying? It's not always going to work. It's a struggle. Definitely a lot easier now that we have the 9th extra deck slot, but it's still pretty difficult. Synchron, as strong as it can be, is just in this weird position where it's very much, I'm not going to say impossible to play its game. It's just really, really, really brutal. I don't see this ending well currently. We're probably going to need an updated skill, as Bond Eliminates is not cutting it as much as it used to anymore, unfortunately. It can still do damage, sure, but I don't know. Right now, we're just kind of in this awkward position where Synchron Quasar and just Synchro as a whole is just in a very weird spot. It's in a very mediocre spot. Like, outside of Revolution des Fleurs, with Sherry's broken skill, essentially, there really isn't much that we have for that sort of thing. So, I don't know. This format's honestly pretty alright. It's pretty solid, pretty varied, which is more than I can say for the previous formats. It's just hard for Synchron in general to really play to the intended game state. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully things change in the future, but I don't know. I've said all I can really say, and we've been going at this for 50 minutes. So, I'm basically out of things I can say without repeating myself. So, that is it. Synchron Quasar is back. It's great to be back. And with that, until the next video, whatever it might be, later guys.